Previously on Babies and Broadswords.
And there is still the toilet with the poop chute down to the underground.
Oh yeah, we gotta go down there. Oh yeah, I forgot.
You are climbing down a rather rickety ladder, and the slower you go, the more you start to realize how dark it is. And you are in a large round room. There are pathways leading in three different directions, so you're kind of like in the hub of a wheel. Pathway straight ahead of you is kind of lit by sputtering candles, and there's a sound of singing. What none of you realize while you're kind of looking around at your surroundings is the tiny form that sort of drops down from the ceiling and lands behind you. Esteban, you have been waiting. How are we doing this blood exchange between these 3-year-olds?
I bite into his arm, he bites into mine.
So the party has decided to head up north towards the pirate song, which most likely means the Binky Pirates. Entirely possible that's where you're going. Debella, you stepped on a dirty diaper.
Oh.
In the explosion, Thwompkins and Esteban, you're going to take 1 point of tummy ache damage.
Uh-oh.
Thwompkins is timed out. He is having a potty emergency right now. Esteban, you have learned a new word.
Ooh, is a bad word?
The word is... Halt, you scurvy dogs! Who goes there? The old ghost sent you? Well, then you're no friends of ours. Who's in charge? Who's your leader here?
Debella.
I challenge you to a loogie off. Hi, friends out there in podcast land, and welcome to another edition of Even Footing Games presents Babies and Broadswords. I am Jason, your sitter extraordinaire, and I am so glad you could join us today. We've got a full house, so let's take a second to introduce ourselves. Friends, why don't you just tell us your name and the character you play, and we will go backwards and start with Roque.
With me? Oh,
yeah,
really?
Yeah,
it's the first time
you
you start
Roque?
with me. Yeah, it's the first time. Okay, I'm Roque. I'm from Brazil. I play Esteban Piro. He's a Brazilian vampire. He really likes to taste the blood of his friends, and he's eager to meet all of you.
His friends generally do not reciprocate, though.
Says
Generally.
you.
Generally.
I would say, except for Thwompkins, apparently.
They get around eventually.
Aaryn, how about you?
I'm Aaryn, and I play Henry the Hypoallergenic Dragon. He's a Thorther.
He is. That means he's one of those weird smart kids. Lee, you're next.
I'm Lee Baldwin. I play Debella, the baby furball warlock, who is getting a lot braver lately. I'd say.
Perhaps something to do with the infectious sentient mushrooms that have invaded her brain. And Jack.
Hi, I'm Jack Brabson. I'm the one of the setting artists for Babies and Broadswords. You can find my art online. Just type in JR Brabson on any social media. I'll probably be there. And also I play Thwompkins, the Gargoyle Barbabian. Apparently he totally believes in sharing, including his blood.
As we learned last episode, every story needs something weird in the sewers with a bunch of kids. If you've read it, we decided to not go that route, but there was some unfortunate sharing. Never mind, kids, never mind. So, when last we left our little friends, they had found the home of the Binky Pirates, a ramshackled collection of clapboard houses on the shores of an underground river, and they maybe didn't get things set off on the right foot. Henry invoked the name of the Invisible Grandpa, obviously an enemy of the Binky Pirates, and they immediately challenged them to some sort of duel. Debella was named de facto leader by the fact that nobody else wanted the job.
Was voluntold.
Right, she was voluntold. and was challenged to something called a loogie off, and that's where we left things. So, Daybella, the pirate who's standing on the guard platform, has pointed down at you with his wooden sword and said, I challenge you to a loogie off. And there's a sound of shock amongst the pirates.
Oh no, not a loogie off. Wait, what's a loogie off?
Yeah, you should explain the rules for the kids not in the know.
I don't know.
I don't know what's in
I know, but for him.
Daybella, you're so cool.
You have to give a little bit of explanation for Thwompkins.
Okay, fine.
Sorry.
That's all right. It happens. Okay, so a loogie off is where one of us lays on the ground and the other one stands over him, and we spit, and then you suck it back up, and whoever gets closest to touching the other kid's face without touching wins.
Ew.
Wow.
And you've been challenged.
Wow, that makes no sense.
Your typical loogie off.
I want to play. Can I play too?
I mean, maybe later, but we got to do this official first.
Okay.
With her, since she's
I
the
can win
leader.
her.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. Anyone got a problem with that? And you're like, no, that's fine. Okay, you can win her.
Daybella just looks at Thwompkins like, stop. I don't want to do it twice.
So the pirate on the guard platform slides down a pole in the middle of the platform, like it's a fireman's pole, and he lands with a light thump, and he walks over to you, and all of the other Binky Pirates clear out. As you get closer, you notice a couple of things about this particular pirate. He wears an eye patch like all of the other pirates, but whereas the rest of them just have regular eye patches, his has the shape of a binky on it. And his pirate vest is a little nicer, and his pants they look like, they're nice pants. They're really nice pants. They look like they're made of a really soft, kind of fuzzy material. They're not just cloth. They're not just regular cloth that they make pants out of. These are made of something kind of soft and fuzzy, almost like a carpet, but not quite like a regular carpet. It's more shag, and it's pink, and he's kind of fashioned pants out of whatever this material is.
I'm gonna steal his pants.
As he walks, and the pants kind of flare up and down as he walks because they're a little bit bigger. It's almost like half pants, half skirt. You can see like a rubber matty texture on the underside of the pants. So they're offering him some sort of obvious protection, and they look great, you have to admit. But yeah, they're this pink shag on the outside and this weird rubbery white material on the inside. Roque, you figure out what they are? Yeah.
A little, yes.
Yeah. And he stands before and he puts his hands on his fists and goes, I'm Captain Horatio Slappy Pants, and I am the leader of the notorious Binky Pirates. And all the pirates go, rah!
Hi, I'm Thwompkins.
Hi, Thwompkins. And you, I've challenged you to a loogie off. Do you accept?
What do I get if I win?
We let you keep your stuff. And if you lose, we take half your stuff and we kick you out. And we'll make mean songs about you and call you names if we ever see you again.
That's not very nice.
We're pirates.
Can't be nice
All
pirates.
I mean, if we like you, maybe. How about that? If you win, you can keep your stuff and we'll be nice to you.
Oh.
Do you accept it? Do you accept the terms of combat?
No, because we need a harmonica.
Oh, for what's his
winning.
face?
The Invisible Grandpa.
Invincible Grandpa.
No, there's a shimmer in the air again, and all the kids go quiet.
If you're not careful, I'll summon him here.
You wouldn't dare.
I'm not afraid of him.
We have dared this before. I mean, It's not like the first time.
You should be. I hear he's really mean. Like he's cranky all the time.
Maybe it's because you stole stuff from him.
Exactly.
We steal stuff from everybody. Say it like it's a
that
bad
makes
thing.
cranky people.
And we're pirates. That's what we do.
You should reevaluate your life choices. That's what the nurses say to me every time I bang my head on a wall.
He looks at one of the other pirates. He looks at one of the other pirates, and he goes, Shirley, can you pencil in reevaluate life choices into our schedule tomorrow? Maybe between swearing and pretending to be drunk.
God, I want to be a Binky Pirate.
It's so way too fun.
Next book, guys. We just have it. You can Binky Pirates now a playable character.
Yeah.
Everyone nods, and Shirley is scribbling something into a little book. How do you spell evaluate? And Captain Horatio goes, I don't even know if I'm saying it right.
I don't know if I am either. They just what they say.
EVL and the number 8. We'll go with that.
Villas.
Evaluate. Got it. Evaluate. You got it. Yep. Evaluate. Close enough.
Why is that the evil?
Yeah, why are we being evil 8? Yeah, we weren't evil enough. We have to rank it up to another level.
So we were just a 7 evil before.
I mean, 7 evil is pretty evil, but we can do better. It's important to continuously try to better yourself. Add that to the list too. Reach self-actualizing levels of evilness.
Henry, at this point, Henry starts to talk about it because he's read all the self-actualization books from the thing, and you have to speak your truth into existence, and that really helps. And by the way, he's now using his ability.
I figured he was, yeah.
Nice.
There's this one, and she does this as he talks about, you have to achieve your base needs, and then you're working your way up the hierarchy of needs.
I was going to say, is he giving the Maslow's hierarchy right now? Oh.
Are you saying base needs or base meats?
Both. Henry read this, but he doesn't read that well, and he's like, there was a triangle, it was really important. And that's how you get up to the self-actualization, and you speak your truth into existence. And so they're all bored.
Yeah, all the pirates are just, their eyes are glazing over. Captain Horatio shakes himself for a second, and responds with Maslow's fine if you're just studying, undergrad, but if you really want to get into it, you're going to have to look at Chickering 7 vectors, and perhaps add a bit of Wearer and Lowe's adult education in the workplace to really understand. And he comes right back at you. He's just as boring. Aaryn, so you'll take... so I would actually like Aaryn right now. So you're going to take the 2 grumps and the 2 cookies from using That's What She Says. But you're going to have a boring off right now with Captain Horatio. So we're both going to make brainy rolls and see whoever wins.
Okay.
I've read The Art of War for Babies, the picture book.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. I got a 9.
Ooh, you outboard the captain. You come right back with some Piaget and a little bit of and you start explaining what enneagrams are, and the captain's just he's like, you throw in a couple quotes from The Secret while you're at it.
Jeez.
And he taps out. He's like, all right, you win. Okay, you're more full of it than I am. I'll give you that. But you. He gives you a thumbs up, and he actually goes, "Wait a second, Shirley, give me a piece of paper. Rip me out a sheet from your notebook. And Shirley rips out a piece. As she yawns and she's doing it. and he writes down A+ on the sheet, and he hands it to you. And he's giving you an A+, and what this does, you can use it next time if you're going to hit your Grumps max. Or no, it's a +1 to a brainy roll. How about that?
Okay.
Single use item, +1 to a brainy roll. But because he's been bored, Lee, he's going to get a -1 on his loogie rolls for his first round.
Nice.
He's having
First
trouble.
round of loogies. Oh, there's more than one round, Jason.
Well,
No.
it depends.
No.
It's best out of 3, man. All right. So he points at you, Daybella, and says, all right, are we doing this or not? You've been challenged. You accepted the challenge?
Yeah.
All right. Do you want to go first or second? I'll let you choose.
Go second so you can see how it's done, Daybella.
Yeah, I'll go second. I go second. You try first.
All right. Lay down.
She looks at the ground. She's just like, ew. She like lays down the dirty ground.
Yep, you're on the dirty floor. You can see, Daybella, the remains of past games of loogie splattered around the floor. This is apparently something that the Binky Pirates do a lot. The captain meanders over, and he stands above you, and he looks down, and he says, any last words before we begin?
Just look over in the eyes. Do it.
All right. And he snorts for about 20 seconds, and he's just building and making all sorts of gross noises. And he stands over you, and just this glob of green phlegm just kind of drips down, and it stretches.
Need to see a doctor about that.
And wavers, and he's concentrating on it very hard. And Daybella, when it gets about maybe 8 inches from your face, he sucks it back up. And everyone goes, ah! All the other Binky Pirates cheer.
Thompkins cheers. He's a good sport.
And he looks at it and goes, hey, you almost filled that one, didn't you? And he's getting you're getting high fives from all the pirates. And then he without any ado, just lays down right next to you and looks at you and goes, your turn. So
Okay.
Go for it.
Okay, so I'm gonna need. How do you want to do this? What are you shooting for? Are you shooting for consistency? Are you shooting for what's your plan? What is your tactic here?
Well, I'm weighing two things right here. Do I just let him have it, spit in his face, and hope for a disadvantage and attack him, or do I actually try and participate in the thing?
Well, he had the negative. He's
already got a negative, so I think on the first round at least, she's gonna give it a fair shot. And she is. Ooh, let's see.
So what's Daybella's plan? Is she just going for max gross, or is she gonna try to be
going for durability? Going for
exactly? Yeah.
Henry goes over to Daybella and says, if it's something you could figure out, and he hands her the A+ paper to help with a roll.
Okay.
So this is perfect. Okay. So she's going to sneakily eat a piece of licorice that she got from the Candy Kingdom. And try and use the sugar and everything to make really sticky spit.
Hey, okay.
And licorice also gives her a chance if she needs to re-roll a precociousness. So
okay, so we're gonna call this a Brady then, because it was a smart use of your candy.
And you have the +1 for
if you want to use the +1 from the A+, and I'm also gonna go ahead and give you a +1 for being clever with the use of your licorice. So why don't you go ahead and give me a brainy roll?
So I'm gonna save that A+.
Okay.
Because I
In
can
case
then
you need
do
it,
like a
yeah.
+1 on each, is what I'm hoping. Yeah.
Right.
Yes. So that's a 12 total.
That's a 12?
Whoa.
Yeah.
Like,
my
Dave
God,
Bella,
man.
you
Yes! Go get Bella.
Dave Bella, you
It's
look him
perfect.
dead in the eye. And you have surreptitiously put one of your licorice pieces in your mouth. And you don't take the time to do all of the silly snorting and horking and whatever that he was doing. You just kind of make a sound. And this perfectly round glob of sticky candy spit drips. And the thread attaching it is nice and thick. And you get down to right where he was. And you let it stop there for a second. Just a little bit. And you actually slurp it up. But you just let it go up a little bit. And then through your line of spit, you wink at him and just let it keep going a few inches.
man.
Until it's just touching the tip of his nose. And you see you see his eyes cross as he's focusing on it. And you suck it back up. And all of the pirates burst into applause.
Pumpkins joins.
They're all clapping.
I do pose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yay!
Yeah, you wipe a couple times. And then just to add insult to injury, Daybella, you hawk it right next to his head. It just swaps amongst the just from his head. And the captain sits up, and he's got this huge grin on his face. He's like, "That's the finest spitting I've ever seen. That loogie was perfectly formed. What's your secret? I've never seen much of such consistency and subtlety. Truly a master."
She says, why would I tell you my secrets? For me. She wipes her nose.
So cool.
He winks. All right. I like this one. Okay. So you got to spit on him now, right? And points over to Thwompkins.
Okay.
Because you got winner, right? Are you still doing that? Is that still happening?
Yeah, I want a winner.
No. Henry comes in and he's like, wait a second, buddy. We
Harmonica
need
first.
harmonicas.
Exactly. Right now. Or you might need to say another name for a third time, you know?
I mean, we're friends now. Maybe we can
We're
do
friends
a
now.
trade.
We're friends now. It's okay. Well, we can. Well, no, you boil the harmonica fair and square.
How many is 3? Like, can I say it again?
Don't know.
No.
Why would you say it again?
I don't know.
Not
I didn't
right
know
now,
if this
not
is
right
3.
now.
Okay.
Cool. Hey, be cool.
Be cool.
Okay, cool. Thwompkins finds something to lean on.
Yeah, Captain Slappy Pants says, "Bring them the harmonica. They've earned it fair and square. That was the finest spitting I've ever seen." And sure enough, they bring out a battered tin harmonica that they've wrapped in a handkerchief, and they hand it to you, Daybella.
I accept it. Stuff it in my bag.
Maybe tell what's his face that we were only fooling around and just a game.
We're good friends with him, so we'll give him your best, and
Good
just
word.
say,
Yeah,
Yeah.
he said we're cool. Thwompkins says as he's leaning on something, hopefully not breaking it.
Hey, Thwompkins, give me a cool roll.
4.
Hey, Thwompkins, you're real heavy. And when you lean against one of these walls,
Oh no.
you knock the dang thing right over. There's just a loud clattering as one of these ramshack houses goes, and it all collapses. It all collapses in itself and takes one of the other floors with it.
Whoa.
And Thwompkins, you actually get buried under some of the debris. You're going to take 2 ouchies from that.
Ow.
and you hear someone go, "My house!"
And just a claw hand comes out of the rubble. Sorry.
I've got 2 pet rocks.
I almost paid off the mortgage.
Hold on. And he pulls the rock out. I put myself on top of the rock and saved its life.
You're a total No, so Thwompkins, you're not making any friends there. You knocked over this poor girl's house. To be fair, it was basically like 2 sheets of particle. It was basically 2 sheets of particle board and a ladder leaning up against each other. But still, the other pirates just kind of look at the destruction for a moment and then turn back to the rest of the party. And Captain Ridge is like, "All right, well, you got a harmonica, and you're a good spitter. You want to be a pirate?"
I mean, sure. If you,
I don't see.
I mean, you have to go on a raid with us, but you know, we always need more Binky Pirates. There's always more Binkies to pirate.
well, we can't like hang around here. But if you need our help sometime, maybe we can find you.
Bella already has a Binky that was somebody else's, so she kind of already is.
I did
a
already
Binky
steal
pirate.
Binky. Mm-hmm.
You got somebody else's Binky? All of our Binkies are somebody else's Binky too.
Yeah, she holds the Binky out of her mouth. She says, "I just found it. Took it for myself."
And you just put it in your mouth?
Yeah.
That's gross. I mean, did you wash it off first or something? I mean, like we at least like wipe
You
ours
guys
off
wash
before
your stuff?
I mean, sometimes.
Well, us hardcore pirates don't need to.
Oh.
With which water do you wash stuff down here?
Captain Horatio shrugs and he points towards the river. I mean, that water.
that water. And you wash with that water and she's gross. Okay.
Well, the water's fine.
Yeah,
It's moving. Everybody knows moving water is perfectly safe.
But
It's only got a bit of brown. It's only got a bit of brown in it.
A bit of brown, huh?
Oh.
Yeah.
I'd rather keep this one then.
That's fine. I'm just saying, you know, it's gross. But I'm not here to judge, mate. Maybe your disgustingness is what gave you such amazing loogie abilities.
Probably.
Yeah, it makes sense to me. Look, we're going on a raid, as I was saying, and then we're heading to I don't know. There's this big meeting in the big city. A bunch of different gangs and whatnot are going to an convoy conclave.
Oh yes, we're a part of that as well.
I thought you might.
Maybe we could convoy together.
You want to go convoy with us?
She looks to the other guys. I don't see why not.
Yeah.
You have to help us on a raid, though. Everybody pays their price and earns their keep.
What do you do on a raid?
What do you think pirates do on a raid?
Thwompkins is too busy to ask. He's too busy trying to rebuild this house.
Just trying to rebuild the house. It's like, is this it? And,
You go steal Binkies, right?
Yeah, Henry says I don't have any desire for anyone else's Binky. I gave up my Binky 3.5 weeks ago. I am so past that.
Oh well, some of us don't have the self control that other people do. Look, our Binkies are extensions of who we are. We can quit any time.
So quit now.
Of course.
Let us see.
Look, the point is, it doesn't have to be a Binky. That's just what we like to steal. But the point is, we go to some other kids, we take a bunch of their stuff, and then we sing dirty songs. And if you want to come with us, you gotta help us take stuff and sing dirty songs.
So,
but we'll take you right to the envoy conclave after that.
If we are going, since you are on the first time raid, can we choose the kids?
Can you choose the kids to rob?
Yeah.
I mean, to raid? I mean, we had a scavenger camp in mind, but I guess, yeah, we might be able to work something out. If you've got a better target.
I'm just worried about us going to this convoy envelope if we have just hurt another sect of babies, you know.
They're all supposed to go neutral, yeah.
Yeah, will they take us seriously if we're no longer neutral?
Captain Horatio shrugs. I don't know. We're not worried about it. I mean, you would have to wear you would have to wear the official outfit of the Binky Pirates, so they might just think you're a bunch of Binky Pirates. But I guess there's always the chance that you could hurt your neutrality if you're lame and worried about that.
Hey, we're already supposed to be working for somebody. Maybe you guys are right. We shouldn't be pirates.
Yeah, I think these guys are really nice, and maybe we could tell them that maybe some other time we'll raid with them. But right now, we got to do our own thing.
What if we steal everyone so we keep neutral? I mean, it's neutral.
You take everything from everyone.
Everybody.
And so by your very lack of neutrality, you become neutral? Interesting. He's mulling this over. It's like if everyone's after you, no one's after you.
It seems like a lot of work before the meeting, though.
That's
to
true.
rob
that's
everyone.
True. I mean, it's surely put that in the long-term planning. Fire it under distribution of wealth to us.
To us. Perfect.
We'll put it in our 5-week plan.
Do you like stories, fairy tales, adventure, happy, sad, scary things?
Do you like fantasy gaming or just enjoy some good collaborative tale telling? Then do we have the podcast for you. Come travel with us in the lands of on Could Have Been Heroes podcast.
Could Have Been Heroes is an actual play podcast where 6 old friends adventure as 6 total strangers who, after missing their shots at destiny, now get a second chance to make a mess of everything.
Tumble down to Farital, a world cast in the spirit of Wonderland and Oz, but with more murder, blood, and swears.
Set in a unique and developing RPG that filters fantasy, horror, pop culture, and other wonderful nonsense through the brains of a bunch of weirdos making their dream game.
You can catch Could Have Been Heroes on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, and wherever else you get your podcasts.
Hey kiddos, it's Jason, your friendly neighborhood sitter, and I want to talk to you today about Anchor by Spotify. Anchor is an all-in-one podcasting app that lets you edit and record your podcast right from your phone or computer, and then host it on your favorite podcast-catching website. And the best part of all, it is absolutely free. Anchor is what we use to host Even Footing Games Presents Babies and Broadswords, and even though I've had to record this ad 15 times, what you're going to hear is the best version we have, thanks to Anchor. So download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started today. It is so easy, a baby could do it.
Thank you for listening to Even Footing Games, Babies and Broadswords podcast. If you'd like to stay up to date with us, you can check us out on Facebook or Instagram at Even Footing Games or on Twitter at Even Footing G. We'd also super appreciate you taking the time to leave us a review on iTunes. Spotify has recently just added ratings to the mobile app, and it's just a few clicks to leave us a few stars and tell us how we're doing, and also helps us find more listeners just like you. Thank you to Bob, Robin, Mariluz, Kathy, Debbie, Alex, and Gina for patronizing and supporting us. If you'd like to support us as well, you can go check out our Patreon page at patreon.com/evenfootinggames. Thank you once again for listening, and let's get back to the show.
Well, if you're not going to be pirates, that's your own decision. You've at least earned safe passage from us, so we won't give you a hard time this time. But most of us are, 4. We've got short memories, so we can't promise that we'll have any recollection of this happening if we ever meet again.
Oh, no problem. We can defeat you again.
We've got very important things to do, so thank you. But we'll have to move on with our current mission.
But, I think someday I might want to come raid, but it just can't be today. You guys seem like real cool guys, though. Exactly.
Well, if she's not there, and he points at Daybella, you can't come. Just so you know. That's really, it was kind of really more for her, and then you were all kind of around, and I felt bad just like pointing it out at the time, but it's kind of contingent on her being a pirate.
Henry says, if you don't want a majestic dragon on your raids, that's on you.
Yeah, if you don't want a vampire on your raids, that's on you.
Well, I don't know what a vampire is. And dragons, I mean, we've got one of those. Snaffles! From under the water, there's a churning and a burbling. And this reptilian head crawls out and followed by on these 4 stumpy little legs. It's a crocodile.
Got it.
He points to his legs. Hey, dragon. Same thing. Looks just like you. It's got green scales.
If you say so, where its wings? And Henry does a little doop with his wings.
So
all right.
Snuffles is a water dragon. Doesn't need wings. He's got water stuff.
Water wings.
Yeah.
That just looks like a big lizard. I don't think it's a dragon.
What do you think a dragon is? It's a big lizard. He's just real
Dragons
quiet.
have to have wings or they're not dragons.
Does
That's
he
some species to me.
can he spit fire?
Yeah.
No, but he swims real fast and he kind of naps a lot underwater and actually doesn't really do much. He eats rats. That's always useful. Actually, why do he keep Snuffles around? Snuffles, explain yourself. And the crocodile just kind of turns back around and goes in the water. Never mind. Shirley, put on the list. Why does Snuffles? All right, anyway. Don't want to be pirates, that's fine. It's your own choice to make. A pirate life isn't for everyone. But a pirate's life is for me! And then he'll break out in the song.
Swampkins finally comes over after giving up and is like, what'd I miss?
So much.
Okay.
Such a little girl just standing in the wreckage of her home just crying.
It's probably standing. It just looks nothing like how she had it.
It's like a house of cards. Yeah.
Whether or not it's worse is
Even worse
purely
than it was
subjective.
before. Yeah. So the pirates are all starting to board their ship, which is it's a giant claw-footed bathtub with a mast made out of a couple of broom handles that have been taped together. And what is obviously a very large pair of bloomers acting as a sail. And they all kind of pile in. And the captain says, last chance before we go raiding.
Last chance for what?
Where do we find the meeting?
He's climbing in the city.
Where's the city?
All roads lead to the city. As they float away. Except for the ones that don't.
What?
And the pirate ship sails off down the mostly not brown river with the tail of an alligator or a crocodile swishing behind.
Why do you want us to get in the boat?
He didn't want you to get in the boat, so it's okay because it would have sunk.
It's all right.
Oh no, I will say, it's a good thing Thwompkins didn't hear all that. Thwompkins is highly, highly against Binky theft.
Against piracy? Yeah. That's
because
fair.
He never had a
Somebody has to
Binky.
be.
He never had a Binky.
Oh, well, I bet if you look around, you might find a couple lying around in the wreckage of...
Yeah.
Bella covers hers up. Yeah, it's like, no.
Yeah, but they're not his.
So you stand in the empty pirate village, the Binky Pirates have vacated, heading off for raiding, and then the convoy envoy envelope conclave. The dirty river is in front of you, flowing ever away from the orphanage. And there's also those 2 passageways back that you hadn't explored before. But we are going to save that for another day. That's where we're going to end today, at a crossroads, literally. Thank you for joining us for this episode of Even Footing Games Presents Babies and Broadswords. Those of you who like the nitty-gritty, stick around. We're going to be talking over some rule changes and whatnot. But if you're just here for the story, this is where you get off.
I want to ask one final question.
Yes, one final question.
Can Esteban cross over running water?
Oh, good question. I mean,
That's an old one.
I can climb through the wall, so maybe it's not that much of a problem.
Yeah, you can't
Sure.
get on a boat. You have to go around it.
You got to go around the boat, yeah. Luckily, you're in a tunnel, so yeah, it's not that hard to.
But good question, actually.
Yeah, I don't know how vampirish Esteban is as far as the old what's bad for him. So we'll have to play around with the mythology a bit on that one. But that's part of the fun.
He's
That's
the only
part
one
of the
that
fun.
knows how to count really high numbers.
Right. Well, he can at least count to 300. Yeah.
He really loves garlic, but cloves really just
Yeah.
not his thing.
So what it is, yes. it's not the garlic. It's it's how they're grown. That's the problem. Yeah, mixed garlic is fine, but cloves, no, can't do that. Yeah, it's the mouthfeel. That's the problem.
Oh, I meant the clove like the cloves like the spice,
garlic.
but
Okay. I see what you mean, yeah. Or like the cigarette, yeah. That's that.
well,
That
that's
we all,
not
that
what
we
I
all
meant.
smoked in our teens when we were hanging outside the Hot Topic. Yeah,
Don't smoke, kids.
I'm so glad there wasn't
Smoking is bad.
Frumpkins pulls out a cigarette. A
George
candy
Zopay.
cigarette. Cool points immediately increased
Oh,
by
he got
5.
cool points. Look how cool he is. That kid's smoking. Yeah. Smoking is bad, kids. Don't smoke.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to talk some rules stuff. So stick around for that if you'd like to hear the gritty stuff. Otherwise, thank you so much for listening to our game today. From the crew at Even Footing Games, we will see you next time. Keep an eye out. The book is going to be out real soon. So
hooray!
Yay!
Kids, if you're going to play Loogie off at home,
Loogie
remember
responsibly.
Consistency is your friend.
And licorice.
And licorice.
And drink plenty of fluids.
Yeah.
You want to go quantity over quality. All right.
All right.
We'll see you next time. Thanks for listening. Have a great day. Thanks to the gentlemen for the use of their song Rubber Ball. That is Gentlemen with a 3. Check us out on all our social media platforms. Share, like, subscribe, download, yada, yada, yada. You've heard it all. And we'll see you next time. Unless you're sticking around. But bye otherwise.
Which are cool.
So we're at the stage right now where the book is almost done. There's a couple artworks and we got to fix some formatting stuff, but for the most part, man, this sucker is ready for consumption, and I am excited for all the work that we've been doing. So any changes that might get talked about now are either going to be pretty cosmetic, or we're kind of going to be setting aside for second edition, which is going to be a lot rules crunchier. It's going to be a more gritty version of Babies and Broadswords.
A crunchier version with more cookies.
A crunchier version. Yep.
Yeah,
more
these
cookies.
are
That's
these
how
are cookies
cookie
that
crunches.
that haven't been sitting out. These are like the fresh,
Right.
No, they need to be
It's-
crunchier.
Advanced Babies and Broadswords.
We also might be like talking about things that have already changed
Yes.
that are in the book now that really we're just kind of going over. It's less discussion, more just making sure we're all on the same page.
Catching both some of the designers who haven't been in on the conversations and you, the listener, to some of the changes that we have made.
And those who have just been drawing pretty pictures and not designing.
Right. Thank you. Hey, those pretty pictures are massive. So thank you for
Those
your
of
pretty
us
picture
who
drawing.
nobody's noticed doesn't
Massive.
do anything.
Yeah.
There's stuff for you to delete
Do
someday.
editing.
Yeah, you're editing, and Rocky is there.
Hey.
Not rude.
Note to self, on the book, just write in Rocky, just there.
Just there.
That's enough.
Thank you, I guess. My phone number should be here, I don't know exactly.
No, Rocky, we got plans. We got plans for you, buddy. Don't worry about that.
There are many people who strive to be able to exist with just being there.
Just being there. All right. So the biggest change that we've made recently to catch everyone up on is we've revamped a couple of our skill challenge types. Now, skill challenges are, for those of you who may need a refresh, are the different types of skills or abilities that you might be asked to roll for to do different activities. So, for example, if your baby wants to push heavy toy chests across a room, the sitter might ask you to make a muscly skill challenge. If you are trying to pick a lock, the sitter might ask you to make a brainy skill challenge. If you're trying to persuade a nurse not to put you in timeout, you might make an adorable skill challenge. So we've had some concerns from both playtesters and other designers that our challenges aren't quite making sense the way we have them set up or named. So we've made a couple of changes, and I just wanted to go over those with you guys so that you know where we are and we could discuss anything that might be not quite working. So we have added, as we added this, I think, last week, but Nosy is now a cuteness skill, and Nosy is the ability to, it's kind of your perception. It's looking for tricks and traps. So that is in place for being able to search and stuff like that. Yes, we got rid of Clever.
We kind of renamed it.
Yeah, we got rid of Clever, which was sort of your streetwise intuition. It was kind of a really tenuous, like we didn't quite know what cleverness did. So to cement things, we've gotten rid of Clever and we've replaced it with Guile as a precociousness stat. And what Guile is, it's your ability to know when they're being tricked or to trick others. So it's kind of your BS detector. So a baby who's high in Guile is good at both knowing when they're being lied to and maybe lying to themselves. It's sort of an underhanded answer to adorable. You know, you're trying to persuade or be persuaded through trickery.
Or knowing when you're being tricked.
Or knowing when you're being tricked, yeah.
Yeah, I don't feel like you have to use it underhandedly.
Yeah, it's an insight. It's insight. That's a good way to put it, yeah. Both using it to be insightful and using it to against others. But that kind of, to bluff. Yeah, it's bluff, it's insight, it's all of that kind of mixed in together. We felt that was more, Aaryn and I were kind of the ones who went over this. We felt that was more specific to precociousness because you're trying to outthink somebody basically. And it was a little more concrete than Clever, which was just, hey, you know stuff, that other stuff that you might know. You know, it didn't really fit.
This will also, for in-game, this will change my +1 to Guile rather than Clever.
Mm-hmm.
Just for an FYI.
Yeah, well, when we were talking about, we also felt that a lot of the roles that you tend to make in-game often were a lot of cuteness roles.
Mm-hmm,
and so we wanted to...
And also adventurousness.
And adventurousness. We didn't feel like precociousness really had a truly useful, like, often used role, so we added it there.
Which is kind of funny because, I mean, when the first session I came in with Thwompkins with you guys, it was just precociousness the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Because we were dealing with the brainy kids.
Yeah.
Right,
yeah.
Because we're dealing with the weird kids, so it's going to be a lot of weird stuff. Yeah.
What we did was we looked at the stat block, or the three skill challenges as a whole, and we were trying to say, is there a dump stat for everyone? And if so, what is it? And we found that if we were going to dump stat, we didn't feel like adventurousness or cuteness had dump stats, and that it was just precociousness. So we wanted to try and take that clever and really make it concrete and mean something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Thwompkins' stumped stat is cuteness.
Well, cuteness has a lot. My thinking is can you achieve the same goals with each of the big three stats? You know, and do we
in different ways.
In different ways, and do we have the tools for them to do that?
Oh yeah, no, I agree completely.
And the other thing was the reason we changed it. We could have just stuck with clever and just changed the definition, but we went with guile because people were getting clever and crafty confused. They were close enough in sound, so we felt guile was kind of more fitting for what we wanted it to mean. Crafty now means it's your knowledge of Lady Cassidy's and the people who live there. So it's not book smarts, it's your street smarts. So you can think of precociousness now as being book smarts, street smarts, and
people smarts.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Cuteness is still adorable.
We can literally name the skills that. People smarts, brain smarts.
yeah. People brainy stuff, right? Yeah. Baby smarts. Adorable is still your persuasion. Quiet was another one that I've come across. Goes both ways. People wonder why quiet, which tends to get conflated with stealth, is in cuteness. And I guess my thinking for that was, and the way I've been trying to push this in the description, was that cute, quiet kids tend to get away with more stuff. It's not necessarily your ability to sneak past or to be stealthy. It's your ability to get away with things. That could be by sneaking, but it could also be misdirection. It could be, I
Can you give us an example of a quiet challenge, please?
Of a quiet challenge, sure. Of course, now all I can think of is stealth-based challenges now. Shoot.
That's the problem, isn't it?
That's the problem.
Having someone like not notice you.
I was gonna say it's really like blending into the crowd sort of thing. So like if you're in a cafeteria and there's a bunch of babies like making messes on tables and just about to break out into fights and stuff, you're less likely to be noticed as the one good kid that's not doing anything as you sneak out of the room.
Right. So a quiet role might be, hey, yeah, or a
like
quiet
you're nice and quiet,
like,
you're not making any noise, you're not being noticed. So
blending
it's not tiptoeing or anything. It's just
right. It's just being nondescript in the situation. Yeah.
We are on the class. Someone asks a question. You don't want the one answering, so you're keeping quiet.
Exactly. So you don't get noticed.
If you're trying to pin the blame on somebody else, I would ask for a quiet role because you are trying to deflect the attention away from yourself onto somebody else. Yeah.
Like if you think about school kids, like the idea that you didn't do the homework and you don't want to look like you don't want to get called on. The quiet kid has that mastered.
Right.
You're not going to get called on.
They blend in with the wall. Yeah. They look invisible. Yes.
Okay, so for example, the episode we did back with the brainy kids, and I specifically said Thwompkins does not have a poker face. He is terrible at quietness that actually works, considering cuteness is his dump stat.
Exactly. Now
where he's an open freaking book.
Right. But the thinking is now, and maybe I can put this in the rules to point it out. If Thwompkins not being quiet in the sense that he's not nondescript, he doesn't have a poker face, he's not emotionally quiet, maybe he could still tumble past an issue. Maybe he could still get the same effect if he uses nimble instead. The idea is that there are ways you can get to the same, you just have to figure out how to get there. And I think that's something we'll see more with kind of experienced sitters and players, is the players coming up with, this is what I want to do, and then the sitter being kind of having to figure out how that translates into the game rules. That's how I kind of like to play it. Whereas newer players, the sitter's going to be more, I need you to make this kind of challenge to get past here. They're going to be more hand-holding. But quiet to me was just a way that, yes, that you're almost not cute. You're so bland. That you can kind of get away with things because no one is thinking that you're guilty of things. So maybe quiet is the wrong word to use, but it made the most sense for me at the time.
Innocent.
Does that make sense though?
Yes, but maybe innocent.
Yes.
Okay. Innocent, not maybe. As a better word for it.
So make me an innocence roll.
Yeah.
Make me an innocence roll. That could work. We could look into that. I could play around with that, see how it feels. Yeah.
It's only because quiet, people immediately think stealthy.
Stealth. Yeah.
That you're stealth. Yeah. And I think that's really what the issue is. It's not so much that the stat doesn't fit where I put it. It's that it just doesn't quite.
It doesn't match up to what your expectations are
what it
of
actually
a
means.
tabletop role-playing game.
Right. And for ease of use. And that's changed a few times. Like it used to be sneaky kid, then it was the quiet kid, then it was quiet, and then it was...
And it was shush at some point.
It was shush for a while. Yeah, like, I don't know. Make me a shush roll. I was just trying to figure out how it worked. But, maybe innocent. So that might just be something we have to just kind of go to the old thesaurus and find words that...
I'm already looking up other words for poker face.
Right. Nondescript, bland, whatever the case may be. Boring, who knows?
Make me a boring roll.
Give me a boring roll.
Geez, okay. Maybe not thinking of it so much like that, but thinking of it as in like being able to contain your emotion. Because it's really what it sounds like we're talking about is, the baby kind of being a little bit like I said, Flumpkins didn't understand that he should not look at that book covetedly. Not self-aware. I'm not literally naming it, but I'm like, maybe we should look for words like that, where it's something more the idea of like composure. Yeah, composure. Very much composure. Yeah, something like composure.
Keep your composure.
Yeah.
Right?
You're such a good quiet kid. Thanks. It's the trauma.
Well, because if you think about it, that then opens it up for also things like being able to handle being scared and stuff like that, or that opens that up even more.
We could certainly look into that. What was the word used? Not composure. What was the other one?
Oh, self-aware.
No, the one you actually wrote down. I can't.
Oh, innocent was
innocent,
the one that Roque
okay, yeah. Innocence or... Yeah, we could definitely think of that one over a little bit more. Yeah. To find the right feeling.
Yeah, find the word that feels... Like the reasoning, the definition feels right for being where it is. It's just finding the right word. And I think that's going to be
poise? What about poise?
Poise isn't bad, but poise feels a little grown up.
Proper.
Yeah. But along the right track. I think we're getting there. Let's spitball that a bit. I don't want to spend...
spitball.
Nobody has to sit here listening to us throw adverbs at each other.
Or it could be cool.
Oh. Yeah, cool.
Gave up some of your cool, Henry.
You're keeping your cool.
I don't
have any. Henry
didn't think about it.
Jack.
That might work.
I think that might be it right there.
Because it's keeping your cool, looking cool.
Yeah, give me a cool roll. Yeah. I like that.
That might be good.
I like
that. That one,
And Jimmy's listening to this like, yes.
Yes. I'm cool. Yeah. Are you really though? Make me a roll. How cool are you? Yeah. Jack, I like that. I think that might be. I'm circling cool because
we've been pushing the cool agenda all over this podcast.
We have been pushing the cool agenda.
Does that mean that Dragonhide as a knack would give cool?
Why not? I mean, dragons are cool.
It keeps you quiet right now, right? Yeah. I mean, we might have.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, I might have to change the definition a little bit, but yeah, I think it would still probably give you a cool. Yeah, because that's the one that you close your eyes and they can't see you and you can't see them, right? Like that's the definition. Yeah. Let's take a cat. Yeah. I still think you can take cool points on that. That's fine. I don't want to change the pun because it's so good.
Yeah, we're keeping the name. It's just gonna give you cool.
I would say you can kind of make it a nimble thing since, it is kind of having to do with the stealthy stuff. Like, because that's the thing, Dragonhide enforced the idea of quiet being about stealth.
Right.
Yeah.
We could figure that out.
I like Henry loves the fact that being a dragon gives him cool.
Makes him cool.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm 100% all for that.
Yeah, 100% agrees with this.
I think cool might be it. I like that. And that's an easy enough change. It's easier to change one word in the book than whole descriptions. Genesee's going to love that. That we're changing stuff on her while she's trying to format the book. Cool.
At least it's only one word.
That's in the book like 30 times. Yeah.
Control F. Control F.
Control F. Replace all. All right. So I think those are good. I think so. Guile is now makes sense, and I'm gonna go until we think of something else. Though, Jack, I think cool is the way to go instead of quiet. So I'm gonna go with that. Is everyone all right with that for now? I mean, if someone comes up with another term and it just,
I'm assuming Jimmy would agree.
I think Jimmy
100%
would.
assuming.
I would. Yeah.
He'll be
Jimmy
thrilled
would be
to find
fine with
out.
that. Yeah, Jimmy, you are now cool. Yeah.
Jimmy, we can now quantifiably measure your level
Your
of coolness.
coolness. Yeah.
How cool you are.
Yep, you are 7 cool. Congratulations.
Which is funny because Thwompkins is then not cool at all, and I'm perfectly okay with that.
Thwompkins is very not cool. Yeah.
It's okay. Henry's right there with him.
But Henry wants to be cool so badly.
Henry, his best buddy Ignatius is pretty cool. So that in and of itself, if you're the best friend to the cool kid,
Yeah, does some of the coolness
something.
rub off?
Hopefully. Gosh darn it, I thought so in school.
Henry's just going to be looking for cool stuff now. He's like, how about this pair of sunglasses I found? Does this make me cool? How about, is this cool? Am I cool yet?
And then Henry won't be able to see without his prescriptions. And
Right. Yeah.
He's
He's going to be bumping into stuff.
While Thwompkins is the kid you give a pair of sunglasses on, suddenly he's putting them on backwards. It's like, hey guys, check it out!
Guys, in the back of my head.
It's new trends.
How do you do, fellow babies?
All right.
Honestly,
What's up,
Thwompkins
you
would not
cool
be the
babies?
first character I'd have who had terrible charisma, but just through sheer role playing, that terrible charisma somehow turned into extremely likable.
That's what you gotta
He
do
would not be the
sometimes.
first.
Mm-hmm. All right. So I think that kind of summarizes what we needed to go over. Thank you again for listening. Thanks for those of you folks who stuck around for our Big Kid Rules chat. Like I said, the book is so close to being done. There's just a couple of little tweaks we need to make here and there. The majority of any big rules that we talk about are probably going to get saved for the grittier, updated edition. So if you have ideas, you listening at home, after you have liked, subscribed, downloaded, comment, and left us those sweet 5 stars, feel free to share those rules with us in our Discord. You can email us at evenfootinggames@gmail.com. Just all the information is here. You'll see it. And we want to hear from you. Send us an email, send us a note about rule changes, and we'll talk about those suggestions, and maybe even give you a shout out if I'm feeling generous and remember your name.
He's benevolent.
If I'm feeling malevolent, yeah. Malevolent's not even a word. Benevolent, there we go. So I'm Jason from the rest of the Even Footing Games team. Thank you so much for listening to another episode of EFG Presents Babies and Broadswords, and we'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.